Try this again. My internet is messing up right now, y'all. All right. I tried to do this a second ago and it wouldn't work. Just gonna wait for a few to pop in. Hello. I've got somebody on. Sorry, I tried to do this a few seconds ago and my internet booped out on me, so this is, oop, what is going on now? Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I've got my mic in, but it's been a while since I used it, so. Okay. Just waiting for a few to come in. Sorry, I was trying to get this to work earlier. We'll see if it works now. Okay. You can hear me okay, just give me a thumbs up. Excuse me. All right, I've got another person that popped in. Hello, if you're just joining. Okay, got a thumbs up. Okay, good. So that's good that you guys can hear me. How are you, Tishay, by the way? Okay. Oh, here's a few more. Hi, Faith. How are you? Okay. I'm just waiting for a few others to pop in, and then I'm just gonna pour my heart out there. This is not an actual Bible study kind of video. I just wanted to chit chat with you all about a few things that are on my heart, and just a few decisions that I've made, and just kind of what's going on. Oh, somebody else said hello, and I'm so sorry I missed it. I never know. Oh, there we go. Love Token. Hello, how are you? I hope everybody's doing good. All right, so I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. First of all, I hope everybody is doing okay. I only jotted down a few select notes because I didn't want to forget what I wanted to talk about. But this is gonna be kind of a random chit chat video, kind of talking about what's going on in my life and where ministry is headed and things like that. So I pray that all you all and your families are doing good, especially during this time in this pandemic. My heart goes out to everyone and all of you, and I've been praying so hard and fasting over all of these things, because I'm just taking it one day at a time as well. If you're just joining, hello. I'm just doing a chit chat kind of video today. So the first thing I want to talk about is what did I choose for this year's school? Because as you guys know, I have 4 children, and the choices were for my county that you could either send your kids to actual classroom. Hold on, baby. To actual classroom, or you could do a virtual learning classroom where it's going to be where you could see the teacher and they're going to be doing the instruction on the board, and you can see the teacher some of the time, or you can just go to online only where you're solely on your own, your homework's on your own, you're going to be teaching your children, right? And so good morning, Dorothy. And so the option that I chose over fasting and praying over this for, I would say, a little over a week, because I had until, okay, let me just back up. At first, I was like, you know what, I think it'll be okay if I send the kids to school. I think God is going to protect us. I think, I don't think that it's going to be that, that crazy until we seen all of these different cases going on. And I was like, I just don't know if I want to send my children in that environment, knowing that they can get this disease and it's more they're going to be more prone to getting it, right? So I was like, I don't know, I don't know. And then God showed me a dream about my own children and about our own county. And so that's when I was like, you know what? I don't know anymore. I really got to pray. I really got to pray. I really got to fast. And after fasting and after praying and after much consideration, and I finally have the peace in my heart to keep my children at home doing, and I'm going to be their teacher. I'm going to teach them this year. You know, I still can't believe I'm saying that, but that's the decision ultimately that God has led me to do. I'm going to have a ninth grader, a third grader, a fourth grader, and a fifth grader. So Zippy has now become teacher, so to speak. So that is the option that I have chosen to do this year after much consideration, after I had that dream. And so, yeah, that's what I chose. And so if you're facing the same decision that I was, and you don't know whether to send your kids to school or not, make sure that you go with the decision that God puts peace in your heart over. It wasn't until I came to a place of peace that I knew what the decision was. I fasted over it, like I said, and I prayed over it. So I definitely came to that place of peace when I made that decision, even though it's going to be a harder decision for me because I've never taught anything, you know, and even in school, I wasn't the smartest cookie, you know, I really wasn't. And I haven't done algebra and geometry and those kind of things in years. I've never had to use algebra in my life since I've been an adult. And so I know my ninth grader, he's going to be taking Algebra 1 this year. And on top of that, he's in all advanced classes. So y'all pray for me because this is going to be a journey for all of us. But I also asked God, what was he going to be showing me in this? And he said, part of this is going to be, he's going to be testing all of our patience, you know, because, and just our endurance, our faith, you know, it's going to be a time of learning and growing also in myself and within my children. And then who better to teach my children, he also kept saying to me, than me. I've been teaching them the word of God and, you know, life lessons, we'll say, so to speak, all their life. So, you know what? I'll be more all the more happier to answer this call. Which brings me to my next point and what's been in my heart. Years ago, and I would say through all of the decisions and all of the ideas and all of the different ventures that God has taken me through in the last couple of years, the one thing that has stood out, that has just come back time and time again, that God will not stop gnawing at me is writing a book. Another big bombshell, right? I'm not saying I'm going to write the book, but I know what God is speaking to me in my heart to do, because I don't even have the program to start the book. Just put it that way. I don't even have Microsoft Word. So, or the finances or the means to do it right now. But for some reason, God keeps bringing up this idea of writing a book. The other day, I was talking to my uncle, and I was telling him the journals that I had in my closet. I probably have, and not my closet, in my storage room. I probably have, you guys know those storage bins. I don't know how big they are, but that you usually can get them from Walmart. And I have storage bins and bins and bins and bins full of notebooks. And I was telling my uncle that, and he was like, you know what, Zip, I think that you are called to write a book. I'm like, you know what, I thought that was my calling before when I started this YouTube channel, but then I knew God was unctioning me to start the YouTube channel rather than write the book. And I even have a video discussing that here. And so I went home naturally. It kept going in my mind, Zip, write a book, Zip, write a book. And then this morning, of all mornings, I woke up and my husband was like, what's on your mind? There's something on your mind. There's something in your heart. I know my wife. And so I told him, I said, I've been thinking about writing this book. And then I kept going over the things of what I don't have. And, you know, I don't have this, and what if this, and what if that? And, you know, my husband said, do it. I was like, okay. So naturally, I'm going to continue to pray about it, but I know what God is telling me in my heart to do. So, and then I started writing down a list. I'm a list person. I write down everything. You guys just heard that I have a bunch of journals and things like that. So I always write down everything. So I started writing down the reasons why I would need to write a book, reasons why, and I had a whole list. But then I wrote 3 things stood out to me the most when I skimmed through the list, and I wrote them down right here. So I put writing a book purposes is what I put down. And so the first thing that came up was help spread the gospel. Since God has called me, that's been my main mission in life, is spreading the gospel, spreading God's word however I can. I even keep little postcards in my purse that I've handwritten myself, that I've hand created with scriptures on them, and I pass them out to whoever God leads me to. If it's if it's to the person that checked me out at the grocery store, which is more often than not where I pass them out, to people that service me, whether I went to the grocery store or whether I went to, to the thrift store, wherever it is, I'll pass out a word of encouragement is what I call it. And so that's always my mission. And if I see anybody that's downtrodden or somebody in my life that is downtrodden, I try to encourage them with prayer, with scripture, with the word. It's just been what has been my mission, if that makes sense. It's what God put in my heart to do. And so if I write a book, the main thing I want it to do is help spread the gospel, right? The second thing that God brought to me that stood out to me is it will help bring others to Christ by sharing my own personal story. My own personal story. Of course, we all have our own stories. We all have things that we've been through. We all have things that God has pushed us through and put us through that we all have a testimony from. But when I look at my story, I know that it can help inspire and help other people, not just women, not just mothers. It can help everyone in some way, shape, or form come to Christ, because that's how I came to Christ, was through my testimony, through my story. And if I share that, and if I put that out in a book, somebody can benefit from that. I don't know who, I don't know how, I can't see all of those things, but God can. And there's got to be a reason why he hasn't put peace in my heart to just say no to writing this book, And so that's the second reason that stood out. And the third reason would be, if I decide to write a book, this is not for fame, this is not for fortune, this is not for money, none of these things. This would be to glorify my Father who saved me, who gave me the grace to get through the things that he got me through in my life. And so if it's not for any other reason it's not for any other reason, in other words, but for him. I want whatever goes into this book, I want it to be to glorify God and not uplift me and not glorify me. I want it to glorify my Father. So that would have been the third reason that stood out the most in writing this. So with that being said, I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know where the money is going to come from for this. I don't know how this is going to get started, but I know in my heart what God is calling me to do. So if you guys see a book in the next, I don't know how long it's going to take for me to write it. I don't know. I don't know anything right now, to be honest. I don't even know if what's going to happen. But if you guys see this come along, then that's what's happening. This is what's in my heart. This is the video that God had me put out today. I don't even know what the reason is for that, because normally I'm a very private person. If God is telling me to do something, I'm very private about it. I don't just speak it out to everybody. I don't just, blurt it out to just anybody. And not that you guys are just anybody, because you guys are my family. So who better to tell than you all? But I'm just saying, I usually keep it to myself. So there's a reason why God is telling me to speak this out, so to speak. And so another thing I wanted to talk about was something that's written over and over again in the Bible. And it talks about the false prophets. And I've heard people call this eloquence of speech. Anytime that you hear somebody buttering you up, just to get a dime, just to get a dollar, you want to question that. And I think about my ministry and what God has called me to do, and anything that he's called me to do. The first thing always is this is what I've mandated you to do. I want you to do this. It's in obedience, in other words, to him. I don't try to make a whole speech about it, or butter you guys up in any way. This is the real me. This is who I am. This is who I am on a day-to-day basis. Anything that I tell you guys that goes on in my life, or any Bible studies or anything that I do, it's because I've actually went through it. It's actually because I'm actually living it. If I wasn't living the life that God called me to tell you guys to live, then I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to do this. And so all I'm saying to you all is, if God is calling you to do something, if God is pushing you to do something and you don't have the peace to do it, that chances are it is his call for you, and you're going to have the grace to do it. It's something that's not going to just go away. Boop, let me do this today, and boop, it's gone tomorrow. It's not going to be something like that. It's going to be a fire that's burning inside of you that continues to burn and burn and burn and burn and burn. And you're going to continue to be able to have the grace to do it, because it's what God has called you to do. It's what he's mandated you to do. It's what he's given you the authority, so to speak, to do. And so God is constantly surprising me. I don't have any reasons why, I don't have the perfect words to say. All I know is if God tells me to do it, I've got to do it, And so the same thing goes with this book, the same thing that goes with this ministry, which I've told you guys time and time again. I didn't want to put myself out there, because that's not who I am. That is not who I am by nature. I'm a very shy person by nature. You know how much courage and how much guts it took to even just put on a camera and speak in front of thousands of people. It's not something that I just would have done for myself, if that makes sense. So it's taken God to definitely pull me out of that shell, so to speak, to do this. Because I've been a very quiet, I'm very private, I'm very introverted kind of person. I really am. And so you've got to take the risk. You've got to take the risk. And like I said, this is one that has stood out throughout the years. And you know how it is when you're trying to find yourself. You want to do this, you want to do that. You've tried this, you've tried that. You've gone on this way, you've gone that way, you've gone this way, and nothing really seemed to work out. But there's that one thing that God is keep unctioning you that keeps pulling at you, that keeps nagging at you, that you just cannot let go. And it's always usually the one thing that you're afraid to do. And truth be told, I am afraid, you guys. I'm not afraid in a lot of things in my life, because God has put that boldness in me not to be afraid. But I am afraid. I'm afraid to write down on pages my testimonies and the stories and the things that have happened to me, things that I don't even know if I've told my mother, I'm afraid that it could flop, what if it flops? What if nobody wants it? What if it sucks, so to speak? I'm afraid that I won't have the way to do this, but I just have to trust and believe that God will make the way, that God knows what he's doing. Just like with this channel. I mean, this channel went from 5 people watching it to I almost have 10,000 subscribers now, and that's not to brag, but I don't know where it all came from. I don't have any other social media platforms other than YouTube and an email. That's it. I don't have Instagram. I don't have, I don't have Facebook. I don't have any other social media platform, because God has made me get rid of everything that I was on. Previously, I was on Facebook at one point. He made me get rid of that. I was on Instagram. He made me get rid of that. And so all I have is YouTube. So the only explanation that I can give you of how this is spreading around is God, because I don't share my videos with anybody. I don't have any way of advertising or anything like that. All I do is rely on God through prayer to speak to whoever he needs to speak to through my videos, and that's how it's grown. I mean, that's the only explanation that I have. And so if he can do that with this, I know he can do that also with this book that he's calling me to write. And I may not feel like this, in the next year or two or so. And if I ignore that call now, then I know I'll never do it. I know me. I know I'll never do it. And I'll have this constant burning inside of me still to do this. So I know I've got to do it, and I've got to do it soon. And so I'm praying that God will give me the grace to do this, which I know in my heart of hearts, that this is what he's calling me to do. And so with that being said, now that I rambled on, that was what was in my heart. That's what I was afraid of. Because yes, I'm human. I can admit I get afraid. I get scared too. And it scares me to death to write a book, something that's permanently going to be out there, of my heart, of my life, of the things that have gone on in my life, you know. And so yeah, anyway, I want to take this opportunity to say hello to you all, because I have several comments here that I saw, and I always have the hardest time trying to maneuver through this. Let me see. Okay, yes, I will keep you in my prayers, Angela, and thank you so much. From B to U, that's peace. Yes, peace is so important. Hey, James. James Jones from Atlanta. God bless you too. Hello. Precious Diamond. Yes, I'm all about homeschool. It's great. God will give you the strength and the intelligence. Thank you so much. I need that. And I'm going to be praying that your homeschooling will go good this year as well. God will give you wisdom and equip you. Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you, James. Well, God bless you and your family as well, Ashley. And I believe in everything that you just said, Precious Diamond, because it is true. With the things that go on in school, I cannot tell you how many times my children have come home and said, this happened, that happened, and I'm like perplexed. I'm like, wow, you know, why are kids so bad? Like, when did they get so bad? I knew kids were bad when we were going to school, but with so many different things and so many bad things going on in the world, our kids are getting a hold of that. And if we can prevent that, I agree 100% with you that we need to be teaching our kids. We're our kids' best teachers. That is what God told me. I am my children's best teacher. I may not have the smarts of the world, or the public smarts, we'll just say, of the world, and that go on in public schools, but I know that God has equipped me to teach my children in the best way that I can. And it may not look like the world's teaching. I've considered that. It may not be the traditional teaching that they teach in school, but that'll be better, because I can incorporate God where they don't incorporate God in teaching in school nowadays. I can incorporate that, because that is the biggest lesson that I've been trying to teach my children all along. And if I can instill that in them, along with, of course, their learning, that will be great. It will be wonderful. And so I'm ready. I'm scared. I'm nervous, but I'm ready. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this new adventure. I really am. Let's see. Oh, okay, Esther's Way. I'm going to have to check into your book. I would love to read it. Day. Okay, if you don't mind me asking, why haven't I monetized my channel? My channel is monetized. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It is. But I never clicked the button to monetize them. I went through the whole application process to monetize it. I want to say the first couple of months when I first started my channel, I went through the whole application. They approved it. They say you can now monetize it and put ads and things like that on it. But then I received, I didn't have peace over putting advertisements over my channel. When I go to somebody's YouTube channel and I've got to sit through advertisement, that's what I hate about watching TV too. I feel like I'm watching advertisements. I know that it's a means to bring income in. Yes, it is. But I didn't have the peace to do that. If I want the word to be received, I want you guys to receive it without having to see an ad. Or what if it's an ad of something that I don't even believe in, which 9 times out of 10 it is, because you don't get to pick the ads that go on your videos. And so that's why I didn't choose to monetize any of my any of my videos. Instead, for anybody that was led to give, because that's something that came up too. A lot of people wanted to support my channel with offerings and, with giving money. So I did create a PayPal, and I also have a Cash App hashtag, or whatever you want to call it, money tag, for anybody that is led to give. Don't just give because you feel like it's something that you have to do or something that you're pushed to do. Only give if God has led you to do. And so if you guys ever wanted to support this channel, I did put on my channel in the About section, I think is where you can find my PayPal link. If you are led, only if you're led to give, that's the only reason why I have that there. But no, I will not be monetizing my videos, only because I haven't had the peace in my heart to do so. I don't feel like it's the right thing. Freely I receive from God, and freely I want to give to you all. And so that's my story with that. Like I said, I do keep a PayPal link on my YouTube channel in the About section. So it's almost like you have to search for it, because I don't want to just freely advertise it out there, because I know what God has called me to do, and I want to be able to give it to you all in the most honest and the most, not saying that it's not honest to get money, from, receive offerings from anybody that's wanting to receive. But for me, this is how God has had me do it. Freely you give, freely you receive. Only if somebody's led to give, then, only then I receive it, And anybody that has sent any money, I always try to thank them, or to send them something, or send them back an email thanking them in return. It's just what's in my heart to do. And so that's the reason for that. Let's see, I'm a teacher, and my daughter has been homeschooled. Well, that's amazing. And God may call me to homeschool for the rest of their schooling career, and if he does, okay. My oldest son wasn't the happiest about doing homeschooling, because of, naturally, this is his 9th grade year. He's going on to high school. It's going to be a different experience for him. He wanted to experience that. He expressed his regret to me over that, because he is 14. He has his opinions and things like that. But I had to reiterate to him, son, it's just not safe right now to send you to school. And if I ever lost you over this disease, I would never be able to forgive myself for making the decision to send you guys to school, to be prone even further to receiving that disease. And he understood my viewpoint from that aspect. But I really did have to sit down and have a conversation with my oldest son. The other 3 were like, yeah, let's stay home. Let's stay home. Yeah, we can stay home, but I also had to tell them, okay, it's not going to be, okay, let's go play with our toys and do what we want to do. We've got to be focused. We've got to be disciplined. We've got to get up early. We've got to do the work, So that kind of burst their bubble a little bit too. But I know I'm making the right decision ultimately for my children at this time, Let's see. Amen. Okay. Pretty hair is really growing. It's getting, oh, well, thank you. My hair, my hair has been a story, so to speak. As you guys know, about 4 years ago, I think I hit my 4-year mark in June, like June 28th or something like that. It's been 4 years since I cut my hair this short, about an inch from my head. It's been a journey, y'all. I mean, it's been up and down, up and down. So if you are going through a hair growing journey like I am, just be patient. Know that patience is the key. But it is growing. It's shrunk up right now, actually, because we've been getting nonstop rain in Alabama right now. So it's actually shrunk up a lot. And I don't wear my hair out a lot. As you guys can see on my channel, I don't wear my hair out a lot at all. I don't dress up a lot. As you guys can see, this is my normal dressing. And that's another thing God is always calling me to do, because I see a lot of Christian women still wearing the tight things and the revealing clothing. And so God has definitely tried to steer me in the way of a more modest dressing. And so on a day-to-day basis, I'm definitely, you know, I would say my style's very girly, but I try to stay covered up, you know, and I try to wear clothes that are loose, you know, like this shirt. Normally, you know, back then me, I would have bought a small or an extra small. This shirt is actually an extra large, I think, or a large. And as you can see, it's away from my body. You know, God has definitely had to deal with me on that. He really has. So it's been a journey. It's been a process, definitely. So I believe that when it comes to clothing and dressing, always go on the modest side, you know, make sure that it's away from your body, you know, and it's comfortable, you know. I'm comfortable in this shirt. So yeah. Let's see, how will you go about what you need to learn according to their grades? Will the school provide material for them? You know, I'm glad you asked that question, Rosie, because you know what the answer is going to be? I have absolutely no idea. Because I still don't think the school knows exactly how they're going to do this. Their kids are supposed to be going back on the 10th of August. And that's one of my children. Yes. Yes, I'm coming, baby. They're hungry. The school, they still don't know exactly how they're going to be doing this. And so I know that they're going to be going back on August the 10th. Today's what, the 25th or something like that. We still don't know if we're going to be provided any computers or anything. I only have one computer, and it's that one, and it's not the best computer in the world. It's very slow. And everything, but it's the one I'm going to use if they don't provide the computers. But I know that they did say that they're supposed to be providing the curriculum, but I don't know how. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if they're going to break it up in 9 weeks like they usually do, like our school. They do 4 9 weeks. I don't know if we're going to be having to turn in homework weekly. I don't know what the plan's going to look like. So when I know, I will absolutely make sure that I update you guys on a video of how the structure is supposed to be. And I figured it would be a good idea as well to start putting some videos up on how my homeschooling is going, hopefully in the hopes to keep us all motivated during this homeschooling thing. Because I'm sure that I'm not the only one. I'm sure that you guys, some of you have chosen to do homeschooling option as well, and this might be your first time too. And so, but I will let you know how the structure will be or what material they're going to be providing to them, because I don't know exactly. Is wearing makeup a sin? I don't believe wearing makeup is an absolute sin. God has called me not to wear makeup, and I've done a whole video on this, I know, but the question was asked, so I'm going to answer the question. No, it's not a sin to wear makeup, but I do believe that you need to do it modestly. I don't think you need to be doing it to change your features or to hide things or to, you know, God made you who you are. God made you the way that you are. And so I believe that, you know, maybe to put a little mascara and like I'm wearing a little bit of chapstick, which has a little bit of a sheen to it. You know, I'm not going to lie. But I have to have chapstick. Otherwise my lips would be crazy dry. But anyway, if you're wearing it to enhance maybe what you have a little bit of gloss and a little bit of not eyeshadow, but a little bit of mascara maybe would be all right. But all of that face painting, I don't believe in. I think that it's altering your appearance ultimately. God made you who you are. Embrace who you are. You know, I don't have the most perfect skin. You guys can, if I come up to you close, I have got, see that? I've got pimples everywhere, you know. I've got dark spots and everything. But it's who I am. It's who God has created me to be. And I'm going to embrace what I have, you know. And that's just what God has called me to do. And I'm very good at makeup. I really am. I can do all of that and those good, pretty eyeshadow looks and put on a whole face. I'm very good at makeup. I used to have a makeup channel back in the day. But this is who I am. I have a little bit of gloss, nothing else. Not gloss, but chapstick and nothing else. This is the natural me. And I embrace it. Thank you for being obedient to the Lord and being an example for many women and watch your videos. Oh, well, hugs to you too, Rosie. Yes, and let's see, Esther said, absolutely agree with you on modest dressing. And I will do more videos in the future on that because like I said, God is definitely definitely called me to show you guys, how to dress modestly. And I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know what kind of setup I'm going to have to do that. But, maybe show you guys a few outfits just to give you some inspiration and ideas of how far God has brought me. But anyway, my children are hungry. That was my youngest son. He said, "Are we going to do lunch?" So let me go fix them some food. I love you guys. I absolutely hope that you guys consider, if anything that God has called you to do, consider to fast about it, pray about it, and just do it in faith, okay? I love you guys. Hope you guys have a good one. Until next time. Bye.